There are two kinds of salam. Salam of dua and salam of greeting. Yeah, they're confusing both. They think in tashahhud, this is real ignorance, unfortunately. They think in tashahhud, the salam that we do when we say Assalamu Alayka Ayyuha Annabi wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh, they think we are greeting the Prophet. This is ignorance. This is jahala. You are not greeting the Prophet. First of all, we can disprove this from the tashahhud itself. Don't you also say Assalamu Alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin? In the same tashahhud, do you not say Assalamu Alayna, peace be upon us? So you're greeting yourself. Does a right-minded person ever greet himself? And if you see a person getting up in the morning and saying, good morning to myself, you will say, he's gone crazy. Let's take him to Dodoma mental hospital. Also, he's greeting himself. You don't greet yourself. So if salam is only a greeting, then why are you saying Assalamu Alayna? Number one. And number two, if it is really a greeting, when you say in tashahhud of Salah, Assalamu Alayna, then why don't you respond to this salam? Why don't you say Wa alayya salam? As in, because the Sheikh here, he says in that video, he says that you're supposed to respond. Responding to salam wajib che, siyo. It is wajib. Sawa, when you said Assalamu Alayna, may the salam and peace of Allah be on us. You just did salam on yourself. Why don't you respond? Baba, this is not salam of greeting. You are thinking this is salam of greeting. If it was salam of greeting, by the way, after saying Alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin, you also invoke the salam of Allah on all the righteous slaves of Allah. So you have got no righteous slaves of Allah in your community. Why don't they respond to your salam? You have ulama in your community. Have you ever noticed when you're reciting tashahhud of salah, let's say you're reciting loudly, when you say Assalamu Alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin, do the ulama or the righteous people of your community ever respond to this salam and say, oh brother, you just said salam to me, I'm among the ibadillahi salihin, and you just said salam to ibadillahi salihin, so wa alaykum salam. Do you ever see a scholar or righteous person respond to your salam in tashahhud? No. Even though your salam is for them, it's directed to them, but it is for their benefit, but it's not a greeting. So all the salams of tashahhud are not salams of greeting. Otherwise, if there were salams of greeting, the rule for salam of greeting is you have to respond to it, and you have to respond to it in audible voice. If someone says, Ya akhi, Assalamu Alayka wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh, you can't whisper, or in your heart you just say wa alaykum, and you say I've responded to it. No, isma is wajib. You have to make, the way he made you listen to his salam, you have to make him listen to your jawab, to your response. So if this was salam of greeting, it would be wajib on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if he was hearing, to say wa alaykum salam and to make us listen through whatever miraculous power. It would be wajib on him to make sure we listen to his jawab. But the reality is, when we say Assalamu Alayka Ayyuha Annabi, this is no different from when we say Assalamu Alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin, and no different from when we say Assalamu Alaykum. The last salam of salah is Assalamu Alaykum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh, right? Yeah, does anyone respond to this salam? This Assalamu Alaykum is addressed to whom? As Imam Sadiq explains in the hadith, he was asked the last salam of salam, when we say Assalamu Alaykum, who are we doing salam to? The Imam said, when you are doing it to the right side, it's to all the people who are in the jama'ah, in the congregation, all the believers on the right side, you are doing salam to them. And then when you do to the left side, you are doing to all the people who are praying to the left side. So, Bona, how come when the person on your right side, for example, says Assalamu Alaikum, yeah, why don't you respond to this salam and say, oh, you just did salam to me? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. After salah, do you ever see believers telling each other, wa alaikum salam, wa alaikum salam, wa alaikum salam? So this is ignorance, my dear brothers and sisters. Everyone, even the lay people, they will not respond to this salam. Why? Because they know it's not a greeting. It's not that salam that you say, oh, kemche, salam alaikum. No. This salam is not salam of greeting. It is salam of dua. Salam of dua, ekle, what does it mean? Salam of dua is simply a dua that you are making to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send peace on whoever's name or whoever you are referring to. So it's just a dua for them, and they don't have to hear it, they don't have to respond to it. So when we say Assalamu Alayka Ayyuha Annabi, yeah, the Prophet doesn't have to hear it. Oh, if this was a greeting salam, ya akhi, Rasulullah Yani, you can imagine how many billions of salams he would be receiving at one point. He would not be able to have even a single moment of rest. And the same thing would be with us, because every second, you can imagine now, alhamdulillah, there's so many billions of Muslims around the world. Every minute, every second, you can imagine someone is in tashahhud of salah saying Assalamu Alaykum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. So the whole day we would have to sit, and we would have to assume someone must be saying Assalamu Alaikum at the end of the salah, and that Assalam is addressed to all the believers in the Ummah. So we would have to just the whole day from Fajr till till the time we go to sleep, we would just have to keep on saying Wa Alaikum Assalam, Wa Alaikum Assalam, Wa Alaikum Assalam, like robots. But alhamdulillah, the Prophet and the entire Muslim Ummah, they have transmitted this idea that this salam is not a salam of greeting, it is salam of dua. And you know what the beauty of salam of dua is? You don't have to know about it, you don't have to respond to it. So let 1,000 people say Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin, even if you are among the ibadillahi salihin, even if you are among the righteous slaves of Allah, you have no obligation to respond to it, because that's salam. It is phrased like a greeting, but it is not a greeting. It is a dua to Allah. Allah will respond to that salam. Yeah, so salam of dua, no human being has to respond to it. Only Allah responds to it. And that's why salam of dua you can do to yourself also. And in the Quran, don't you see Isa alayhi salam? He does it on himself. He says, Wassalamu alayya, in Surah Maryam, Wassalamu alayya yawma wulidtu wa yawma amutu wa yawma ub'athu hayya. And may the salam be on me, may peace of Allah be on me, the day I was born, the day I will die, and the day I'll be resurrected. So you think he's greeting himself? Only a madman would greet himself. Okay? Greeting yourself is not something sane and rational people do. But Isa alayhi salam is a prophet of God. He is not greeting himself. He is doing dua for himself. The salam that he is reciting on himself is salam of dua, not salam of greeting. It is a sad thing that sometimes even scholars don't understand these basic baby level concepts, which awam and the lay public understand the difference between salam of dua and salam of greeting. And unfortunately, if our people in our community are getting fooled by this and they don't understand it, it means the scholars have not done a proper job of explaining to them the difference between salam of dua and salam of greeting. Salam of greeting, wajib to respond. Salam of dua, only Allah responds to it. So when we say Assalamu Alayka Ayyuha Annabi, the Nabi does not have to respond to it. And that's why do you hear a response? Do you hear a voice coming from across a curtain of ghaib saying, Wa alayka salam, ya ayyuha al-musalli, ya ayyuha al-mu'min? No. Because Allah has not placed on anyone the obligation to respond to salam of dua except himself. Because only he receives du'as. Right? Salam of greeting, the personal salam, yeah, that you have to respond to. But that kind of salam we no longer do to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he is not accessible to us. He's now across the curtain of ghaib with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a position of honor. And communication with him has been cut off. So therefore, we confine ourselves to only doing salat and salam of dua for him and for the blessed imams from his progeny and for all those who followed him and who will follow him until the day of judgment. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.